remember just being so like uncomfortable and so like, what the fuck are you doing, man? I feel so ashamed. I feel so incapable.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing? Like, why am I in this business?
This right here is where 99% of people tap out. But the 1%, they lean in. They build momentum and they create magic out of the chaos.
That's what creates the magic of a founder, is you are a momentum builder.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this thing didn't exist. Like, no one's going to do it for you. You have to do every piece to this right now. And that's the responsibility, that's the accountability, and that's the magic. You get the outsized return on the other side.
The ones who win in the end, they're not the ones who are necessarily the best. The ones who win are the ones who keep going.
We own Plunge.com, the keyword to Plunge, the registered trademark of it. Like, we've really, the leaders in the space, not just from volume and revenue, but like the brand too.
So if you feel like you're about to break or throw in the towel, good. You're on the verge of building something revolutionary.
You got one shot at this whole thing.
That's it, dude.
Like, we sit here, I got 40 to 50, maybe 60 more years if I'm doing this really, really well.
This is Ryan Duey. You guys started it. Did you ever imagine it would be this big?
No, not a chance. No. It was like, I don't know if this is a good comparison, but I would compare it to you and your Longhorn. Like, you kind of got into it. Like, I'm kind of into this. I'm into this. Yeah. I can make a few bucks. I could sell a Longhorn.
Yeah.
Like, and then imagine you became like the largest Longhorn dealer in the world. That was the extent of kind of our, the business plan was let's build 20 of these. That was like our concept in the garage. Like, I told Mike, like, we'll build 20. He had a van. We can hand deliver each one around Northern California. When we had an email list, because I had Capital Floats, he had Reboot. And we just emailed those businesses. And then, obviously there was a lot of pent up demand that was there early.
Well, you guys kind of created a market. I mean, people getting in cold water has been a thing for a long time, especially in athletics, right? The ice bath world has been around for a long time, but this idea of bringing a cold plunge unit into your house, I mean, from my awareness, you guys like created that industry, like you created the opportunity, but now you have all this competition popping up everywhere you look. How has that changed your business?
Yeah, I think there's part of it that's excitement, because it's like, it's a category, and any good category, people are going to jump in. I think it's also a sexy category. So, where there's more appeal and more cultural interest, people want to run and start that business. I don't know how many of those businesses take off that are doing it. To me, it's almost, I look at like cannabis in California. Like, if you weren't in cannabis at some early stage and you've tried to jump in now, it's not going to work out for you. I kind of see that in the cold industry. But yeah, I think overall it's great. More and more people are getting into it. I think when we started out, our competition was a chest freezer. Mm-hmm. It was like someone turning in their meat freezer into a cold water container. That was our big comp. There were a few other companies that were building mostly very high end, or not, like more like we would call them like art projects, like super $20,000, $25,000 units. Not really a scalable project, but they were doing that. And then we kind of came in at this unique look where it was like, both the man and the woman wanted the product in the house. They were both on board with it. That looks good. It's a good looking unit. And it was at the time when we came in, it was like a unique price point. So we were like, let's go solve that. Those were like our two kind of core characteristics we wanted to hit. I told Mike, if we can't get this price point at the time, it was like $5,000. It was like our original white plunge that we launched. I was like, if we can't really build what we think of business around that price point, like, I don't think this is that interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't really want to go after that. And so we did that. And then early on, we also made this big bet around this term cold plunge. Like that, like you said it, like this industry, this cold plunge, it's like, that wasn't a term. Mm-hmm. It was ice bath. Ice bath was 10x on Google, the search term, if you looked it up at the time. And we just made this like bet. Like, we built the brand around like simplicity, like call the thing the thing. So obviously our brand is Plunge, like we called it Plunge. Our products we try and make it very simple and not our, we just wanted to be the thing, call the thing, make it simple for the customer. And so we were like, I just think cold plunge is this term that is going to be utilized. We bought the domain, thecoldplunge.com, for $10. That was like our big early win, because then, we're in the garage and we're cutting PVC pipe and building the first generation products. And I'm getting calls from Florida. I'm getting calls from Texas. And it's like, hey, didn't know you guys existed. Like, been looking for it. And it's like, yeah, we're here. And like, we turned the website on 6 weeks ago, and it was just a search on Google. Google wasn't even, there was no reason to buy an AdWord of cold plunge on Google. If you started creating content around the term cold plunge back in 2020, 2021, you were going to be first page. There was only a few people doing this. And that's been a huge win for us now, as, we own plunge.com. We own the keyword to plunge, the registered trademark of it. Like, we've really, as a category, like really kind of created this as like, the leaders in the space, not just from volume and revenue, but like the brand too.
Yeah. What's really cool too is, I've been fortunate to spend time with you hiking a stupid mountain, which I don't know why either of us agreed to do it. But, I think a lot of business owners, founders have sort of shiny object syndrome. Like, okay, we'll go chase that. We'll go chase that. You've really said, hey, we're going to focus on plunge, and you've added a sauna. But like, I was on the hike telling you, like, what about this? What about that? And you're like, it's not really in our thing. It's not really in our thing. So as you've gone through this journey, have there been any shiny objects you've desired to chase, or have you just said, we're going to be the category king in plunge?
I mean, I think there's, we didn't really have a choice when we started. Like, there was so much growth so rapidly. So it was like, dude, we just got to keep the wheels on the bus. Like, and we got to keep going. And so we were just like building, trying to ship product. How do we keep improving this product? We launched and it grew really rapidly. So even the first gen product, we were making changes to the product quickly. I think where we've gotten shiny object syndrome is like on marketing. Like, when we were, when you're the new kid on the block and everyone wants to act, everyone's interested. It's like, we could go a million ways.
Yeah.
And we can market. There's no wrong answer right now. And we can go there and we could go there. And I think that was our thing over the first 2 to 3 years, where we probably overspent in areas. We probably didn't like focus as much as we needed to on a partnership or a campaign that we did. Cause it's like, we'll get that. And then, this new celebrity came in and they want to do something, and let's go do, and we never maximize. So I think from a product, we've had a pretty clear roadmap. I think our team ships product really, really well, launches, and we do that and iterate quickly and efficiently, where marketing's been more of a journey to how do we like hone in and do this, with maximizing it. I think we've left a lot on the table there.
Well, the marketing world's changed so much since you started. I mean, in 2020, the term influencer was starting to become a thing, but it wasn't at all what it is today. And AI wasn't around, yep. And Facebook ads were like there, but they weren't quite there. Like, now everybody's all in on the space. So you've had to kind of like grow up in this ever evolving marketing world where billboards no longer work.
100%. I think it's like we've had to figure out what works. Like, I come from a brick and mortar service business background, very different than e-commerce, manufacturing, digital landscape. So us learning about marketing in this landscape it's not only evolving, but we're new to it. So we were new to it. So there was a lot of big learning curve there. I think, Facebook and Meta are such big drivers and Google's a lot simpler, but Meta is always evolving. And, we've had to learn like how to create content around that, how to, what is ad creative? Like, we were doing so much on organic, which I think was beneficial to the business and probably played a factor into our performance marketing, but we would spend so much on performance marketing. It was mostly where our dollars were, but we were not focused on the creative that was going into that, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. It's like most of the lion's share of dollars are here, but we're not focusing on that. And we've had a really strong like brand team, and we've really had to evolve and build this performance side of the team. So it's been like the influencer world, we've had to, early on, it was like we had access to so many great people. And that was kind of how we built this business. Like, we have, the first one we're here in Austin, it was like Aubrey Marcus was our first individual that we flew out to his home. That was the first unit we ever shipped in the history of the business.
Really?
And it was like, I didn't even know how to, I mean, we're talking these are cold plunges, them. This is a big freight shipping. I was like calling trucks of like, hey, like, how do you ship this thing? And they're like, it was almost comical. They're like, dude, no one like ships a one-off like freight piece to Texas. Ended up getting one on a truck randomly, completely overpaid because I didn't have an account or any of it. Trying to buy a box, completely don't know how dimensions work. The box is upside down and wrong. I was like, just get it on there. Didn't have any testing into shipping freight. Obviously, there's a lot that can go wrong. It's not like it just goes on a truck and everything goes perfect. By the time it gets to Texas, that thing probably was touched by 8 to 10 different groups of people. It goes on. It went from our place down to Sacramento's main hub, to Sacramento to Reno, got off the truck in Reno. So it's like a million things can go wrong in these tests. It shows up and somehow it works. Like when we fly out to Austin, it works. So what I'm getting at is like there's been a lot of like, when we went to Aubrey's house, that was like our first one. And he was kind of like, I think he opened the door, made a couple introductions to us. And we find ourselves at Andrew Huberman's house or Tony Hawk's. And, that was like, we weren't really playing the influencer game. We were playing more of like true gifting. Yeah. Like, hey, we want to gift this to you. And we were founders that were there in their home. And that is, I think, is a huge, like, there's a world of influencers where it's like your influencer managers, you never really connect with them. And it's very transactional.
Right.
And that's a thing. Just be clear that that's trans. Ours was like, hey, we're building this business. It'd mean the world if you just, like, they would ask, what can we do? And we'd be like, just share it.
Yeah.
However that's authentic to you. If that means telling your mom that this is the greatest thing ever, or if that means going on a podcast and saying, I love this, and that we would get, wouldn't always work out, but we would get 10x returns from a lot of people just from that relationship building. So that was early on. We got a lot of units out into the market. Like that was our concept. If we can get it to like these 20 people, we want to make it feel like we were everywhere and have this network effect. And we were able to accomplish that in kind of the first 9 months to the business. But then it's evolved so much. Then it just gets like, there's a scale number of like, I got introduced to this. I'm building a relationship, with someone where at some point it's like, I don't have enough bandwidth to even talk to all these people. And we want to keep growing this way. And that's when it gets a little more like, okay, we need structure. We do have to almost turn this transactional. We do need to like make sure it's clear deliverables and there is a contract and clarity around what we're needing and what we're wanting. And then it's evolved a lot too, where back in the day, it was just like, we would get an organic post that would go get a few 100,000 views. And that's just that was what cold plunging was at that time. Like that was what the algorithm was interested in. It was this new like that's not the game anymore. Mm-hmm. Like we can't just post a post and, we're getting 5,000, 10,000 views. And that's just like what is normal now. So it's a different, like, okay, that worked then, it does not work now. What does work now? And that's kind of our game to figure out.
As you made that transition, and like it has to become a little transactional, I get that. But you at your core is very relational. So how have you not like sacrificed who you are, your core values, while you've built the business, while you've scaled, or have you sort of let a piece of you die and say, hey, can't be the relational guy I was?
It's a constant battle. It's definitely like it's a core thing that I love to do. We have a few other people on the team that we've hired that I think are good at relationships too. So I do trust them to build, like now there's, people that are partners of ours that I don't have a real relationship with. Mm-hmm. I try and check in. I think it's also the adjustment of the stage of the business. Like when it's early, you're like as a founder, which I love, like you're in building it, like I'm showing up to homes. This is it's just what it needs right now. And then it gets to a point where, you got 100, 150 employees and there's different needs and different, like my time to go take off for a week is more impactful on the business. There's dynamics to it. There's times that I need to be with my executive team and we have to be digging in. So it's a balance. Like, here I'm on this trip in Texas, so I can kind of get out to a few different partners and, meet with a few different people that I get to connect deeper with. But it's there is an impact now, like being away from the business. And so it's, long story short, I haven't nailed that. It's a hard part of it. But it is important to be out, and there's nothing like meeting people. And a lot of the ones that flow, like your and I's relationship has been, I think it's a good example. It just like they naturally build,
right?
We're on a few calls early. We're getting to know each other. It's like some just like stick more. Yeah. Like I was with Greg Scheinman yesterday in Houston, and he was like, he knows the midlife male guy. He got 2021, just like was one of like, we had a bunch of influencer-esque people, and him and I were, and then just, you know what? Him and I really vibed. And now it's like, I have a deeper relationship with him. So, some things just come and flow, and, but it's a balance for sure.
Yeah. What's interesting is like the people that you cross path with, like they're either relationship driven or they're transactional, right? Like I'm sure there's a lot of people whose path you've crossed. You're like, oh, this is going to be a cool relationship. Like I really vibe with them, but their mindset is much more transactional. Like you're giving me the plunge, you're servicing the plunge. No, I'm not paying for that plunge. Like, it's much more transactional, right? And they try to use that sort of influencer space or their clout to say like, give me. And that's like what the world has done for them. So that there has to be a lot of balance too of like, understanding who you are at your true core, a giver, somebody that wants to serve, somebody that wants to help, but also somebody that's not going to get taken advantage of.
You nailed it. And I've had to develop that because I'm naturally like a very trusting person. Like you say what you're going to do, cool, you're going to say what you're going to do, and that works. Or you're saying this is all about the relationship when at the core, it's like, no, you just want a cold plunge.
Yeah.
And like, okay, like, but let's just, and I've had to like get clarity into how do I ask the right questions? And yeah, there is a piece that gets a little jaded. Like that's not, that is, and I really value the real relationships that come. It means a lot in these partners where, people check in and it's not about the cold plunge. It's like, oh, cool. Like just as a human, that feels good. Like we've developed a friendship. And so that has been one of the more challenging. It's very astute on your end, but that is definitely one of the more challenging parts to it.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, I've had to experience it too, right? Like there's the art of manipulation, which happens all the time in life. Like right now I'm manipulating my wife to get a giraffe. Like I really want a giraffe. So I'm like, how can I get her to say yes to getting a giraffe? Which one of the ideas is buy her it as a gift, which I don't think would be well received, but like, it's hard to say, hey, this is a shitty gift. Why'd you get this to me? Like we're trying to teach our kids, whatever people give you, you accept and you're grateful for. So that's like one of my manipulation, mindsets, but we're all manipulating all the time. Like that's life. And I recognize that. I understand that. I've pissed a lot of people off by saying like, that's what life is. People are manipulating all the time. And when you have kids, which you're about to have, you'll see it's all the time. Like, how can I prolong bedtime? How can I avoid brushing my teeth? How can I get that snack, get that cookie, get that toy? But at the end of the day, in business, I have always found more success with just being blunt and just being candid. But I've also experienced a lot of people, whether they think I'm dumb, whether they think I'm naive, or whether they just don't recognize what they're actually doing, try to take advantage of me, my time, my resources, my energy, my connections, because they're just looking to go to the next level for them. And I personally have found the best way to go to the next level in whatever you're trying to do is through service. And it sounds like that's what you've done as well. You just try to serve people. It's just like when you deliver the cold plunge to Aubrey, you probably could have said much more clearly what he could have done to help you, but you're like, hey, I just want you to enjoy this. And if you enjoy it, share it with somebody. I don't really care how you do it. And that's like a service-based mindset.
It was a very pure, especially that first year, like Mike and I we've been a Burning Man, which is like the gifting culture is like really big there. And to your point, like gifting, it's like gift it. Like don't come with expectations. Like if you're showing up there, do that. And on those early runs, like especially when we were in those homes and we were, we'd rent the U-Haul and we'd drive these units down through California and drop them off. That was like it's a very special time in the business and pure. And like I said, it was a unique moment because it was getting to be with people that had given so much to me in my life that I felt like I was now on a stage to give them something. Yeah. And that felt like just like empowering. It felt like man, you've done something that you've gotten the attention of people that you have admired for so long that now, care about what you're doing. So that was like a really fulfilling and really grateful for that window. I also really appreciate like when influencers or partners or celebrities come, like there's no worse question than like, hey, let's partner. Or like, it's like, okay, you're coming to me, present to me what you want to do.
Right.
I love when people show up and they say, okay, hey, Ryan, I want to partner with you. These are X, 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 and X is what I would like to do in exchange, like to your point of like being blunt, being like, those are the deals that I tend to say yes to. Like, great, dude, you've already thought this through. You know the value that you can bring in exchange for the thing that you want. Yeah. Let's just get it done.
Yeah.
Like, we're not here to, cool, if we build a relationship, great. Like, we will have something, but like, you've been very clear and clarity. And so that's, something and those tend to actually end up building into bigger relationships because it's really clear of what they're coming. They're not coming to like, hey, you give me this and I'll figure something out. It's like, no, I'll show up with value as well.
Have you always, when you are trying to work on a deal that you're delivering to somebody, have you always approached it with that mindset, or has this experience taught you to go with a well thought out, well articulated plan to the potential partner?
Yeah, it's that. And I think we've been in a unique spot where we haven't chased a lot of our partners. Kind of our way of going about it has been first principle is like, they need to love this. And before we do anything, so a lot of them reach out to us. So there's a lot of initial, I'm not here to convince someone about cold plunging. I'm not here to go to, some ex celebrity that's not cold plunging and be like, hey, you'd be awesome. Like, do you want to do this? It's more the ones that are like, this changed my life. I really would love to do something with you guys. Here's the channels that I can go through. So that's really how it's been. And then learning through them, yes, into like just business proposal and business partnerships, like set the agenda early, bring the clarity, like move quicker. Like if you want something, that person's you're the one that wants the thing. Yeah. So you need to get their attention and make this super simple and quick for them to like make a decision. So yes, when I, where there could be, it's also more when I need something for my team, I think about like, okay, cool. Like as opposed to just talking it through, like be very clear into what I want from them. So yeah, learned a lot from those partners, influencers that present clearly.
Yeah, it's amazing because like in life, when you're clear, it goes so much smoother and so much faster because the expectations were set on the front end. But yet we all have this like desire to negotiate and like, I'm not going to throw out the first number. I'm not going to throw out the first thing. But in my life, I've too found what you found, whereas if I go there and say, here's exactly what I can do, X, Y, and Z with this thing that you have, can we create an opportunity? The conversation goes much quicker, but it also is much more successful because the expectations were delivered on the front end.
And it's also just like shit or get off the pot. Yeah. Like learn that in sales, like get your no quick. Yeah. Like there's nothing, talk with our sales team, or it's like, I hate when a deal is lingering. Yeah. It's like, I get a no. Like, let's celebrate a no and move on, dude. Because time is the asset that we're actually up against here.
Right.
So yes, if you get the clarity, hopefully it accelerates the deal quicker. If not, you get a no a lot quicker, and your mind space can go into the new thing a lot quicker.
So time being our only asset that we're up against, has that been something you've always been aware of, or has the journey you've been on through your life made that more clear for you?
I mean, I kind of just said it. It's definitely always operating in the background. At the end of the day, like that is the asset that everyone would trade everything for. Yeah. So it's like, I do look at that as like the core asset. Like it's a finite, there are, really two guarantees. We're talking to a human, you've been born and you're going to die. Like that is the only thing I can guarantee. And then within that, there's a finite number of time that we have. So yeah, it's just more of like, I think from a business perspective, I zone in outside of like death and human life. It's more of just like, we are trying to operate quickly and efficiently. And time is one of the KPIs of that. How quickly can we do this? you think we can do it here? Let's really, like, are all factors in? Can we shorten that? Or actually, maybe we need to lengthen that to do this even more correct. So, I mean, time is one that's like, I think we don't really think about it in like a KPI format. We think about rev, we think about all these others, but like how well we do something in a window of time, I think is like a really important thing for us to reflect on.
Well, and like, you're not just saying this, like you preach it. I think I saw a video that you guys did where you had some techs change out a filter and see who could do it faster. So like you're gamifying the KPI of time.
That was like a huge win. You're talking about, we did the world filter change championship.
There it is. Yeah.
And it's like something we thought about the product, like, okay, the all-in, like, there's a unique part of that design that makes that filter the easiest filter to change. And if you own a cold plunge, like, this is something I have to do. I have to change a filter. And when that once a month comes up, if it's in a shitty spot, it's annoying. It's really frustrating as a consumer. So we designed that product. We want this to be the easiest thing you ever have to do. And we did it. And then we're like, okay, how do we demonstrate this? And we were kind of going through, the team had been grinding at our headquarters. And we were like, okay, how do we make this like super fun? Like, how do we tell a story to the world that first you can change your filter in under 10 seconds? Right. And then secondly, how do we get the whole company to rally around? And we did this whole like NCAA tournament championship. And so, yeah, that was like a fun, in the time factor, it's an interesting one. You're going into a good zone here because like that's kind of at the core of our products, what it is. Like a cold plunge arguably is the best ROI you're ever going to get on your time. 2 minutes at that temperature from point A to point B. There's very few things. In fact, I really don't know the things that can take you from there to there in that window of time. Sauna, it's a big reason why we started our sauna lineup on the traditional. We love infrared as well, but we wanted traditional from a time perspective. It's a quick, all you need is 15 minutes, and you're there. Where maybe some lower heat ones, you're going to have to go a little longer. So from the core of the products, like it is, how do we feel great? How do we have a great outcome in the most efficient time perspective? So that is something we try and bring into all the products that we launch. Yeah,
and it's clear, like everything that you guys have created that I own is easy. It's simple. I mean, even the sauna, right? Like you can set it on a schedule so that when you're ready to get in there, it is at the temperature you desire. And then you can just literally spend 15 minutes in it, 20 minutes in it, 30 minutes, whatever you decide. But I mean, the traditional sauna, ours goes up to 230 or something, which I know we're not supposed to turn it that high and we don't. But I mean,
you can. The traditional, you can take it there.
It's just a little hard on the.
Do you go there?
We usually do 207 to 213, somewhere in that window. Right?
So we have obviously all the data of what do you think the average temp is of our traditional sauna
that people run it at?
Yeah,
180 to 195.
It's like 170.
Wow.
Which we were surprised with. We thought it would be. Yeah. So what I'm getting at is you're on the super high end. The 200, it's a small portion that go above 200.
Well, like if I'm going to sweat, I want to sweat. And like if I'm going to sweat and I'm doing this to sweat,
how long do you stay in?
It depends on the day. So like I would say at a minimum, it's 11 minutes, but there's a lot of days where it's 20, where it's like, and what I've done is I'm a big believer in habit stacking. So like when I'm in the sauna, I'm not just sitting in the sauna. I'm journaling in the sauna. I'm listening to a podcast in the sauna. I'm listening to an Audible book. I'm meditating. Like I'm always trying to habit stack because I'm like you. I believe like time is the only thing that I can't make more of. I can manufacture it in a bit by hiring people and leveraging things so I have a little bit more, but I have the same 24 hours in a day that you have, that anybody has. So I'm like, how can I use my time more efficiently than anybody else? So I'm a big habit stacker. So if I'm in there and I'm listening to a good book or a good podcast or like deep in my journal, I mean, it could go 25, 27 minutes. I haven't gone over 30 minutes.
At that temp.
But I mean, like if you're
still
in there,
impressive 25 in there.
If you're in there for 15 to 17 at that temp, and then I love throwing the water on the rocks too, which I learned the hard way. You shouldn't throw directly on the rocks because then that causes the heating element, that hume makes to melt and start on fire, which happened one night. But I mean, I like to suffer, but I've always liked to suffer. I mean, I was a wrestler growing up, so we used to sit in saunas in sweatsuits, so we sweated more. So like it's easier for me.
So it's deep in you.
It's deep in me.
Yeah.
It's deep in me. But I mean, there's days where I walk out of it and I'm like lightheaded, right? Like you got to pause for a second and be like, okay, I got to
Sure.
recollect myself. But my morning routine every single day includes the sauna and the cold plunge. And I have yet to feel like shit after getting out of the sauna and the cold plunge.
So I'm assuming you have it scheduled. It's heated up at your point that when you wake up.
Yep.
Do you cold first? Do you sauna?
I always cold first.
Yeah.
But there are some days where I'll finish on cold. So I'll go cold, hot, cold. If I made the choice to create more time in my morning for this, like I'm already getting up at 3:45, 3:47. Like I'm an early guy. If I choose to make more time, then I would love to do cold, hot, and then finish again on cold. I love finishing on cold.
Yeah.
But like if I feel like I'm getting sick or something, I'll do 4 rounds of it. And I swear like I can beat any illness that comes onto me by just freezing it out of me and then sweating it out of me. But I usually finish on in the sauna right now, but there's a lot of times where I'll go cold, then hot, and then finish on cold.
But you're contrasting every day.
Every day. Every day. And I mean, we were literally just talking about this. Like I haven't been able to do it for a couple of weeks, and my body doesn't feel as good. And I don't notice the benefits when I do it every single day. Like it's just a part of the routine. It's like, okay, it's like making your bed, cool, check the box, move on. And I haven't been able to do it for a couple of weeks, and I feel like I can actually feel in my body like the inflammation, the soreness. I can feel the fogginess in the morning, whereas when I do the cold, when I do the hot, like I'm sharp, I'm crisp, I'm fired up, I'm ready for the day. And I can feel that like fogginess pop in. So it's like, it's not just this like trend. It's not just this fad. Like there is actual evidence that this is better for you and this helps you. And I love the evidence. I'll support it. But when I can actually feel the evidence in my own body, like that's the slap in the face I need. That's like, this is an everyday non-negotiable for me.
Yeah. I mean, we get that a lot. Like, is this a fad? Is this like it might be a fad that someone's sharing it on social every day. Yeah. Like that. It's a new thing. It's interesting. But like the impact of cold water, like that is, I mean, the amount of just data that we have, the testimonies that we see, the impact if someone needs their plunge fixed and it's down, and the impact that it has on that person, and what we like, it's medicine. Yeah. Like it's like, dude, I don't have my medicine right now. You just kind of mentioned it. Like that's huge. We see our app users. Like we look at our daily active users to our monthly active users. Like for our like where we live in like connective fitness space, like the plunge use is extremely high. Mm-hmm. It's higher than what you're going to see on Peloton users or all these other modalities where it's just like once they get it, it's like, I love it. Like this is like people don't not use their plunge. And so that's like something we want to go deeper into of like, how do we bring what you're talking about to life? Like what's going on there? Yeah. Like, how do we tell that story from a research perspective,
right?
From a, you saying, I just feel more clear. What is that?
Yeah.
Like, what's the actual mechanism that's going on in the body,
right?
That we can share that with more people that, you're an take action guy, but we're kind of and you're an early adopter probably in a lot of things that you do.
Yeah.
We're going to a new consumer now in this category where it's like, how do we tell people that maybe wouldn't have just ran into running, like they're not a biohacker early adopter.
Right.
So we need to tell better stories. We
right.
need to bring more research to the place to, convince and get people to understand like why this is beneficial to you. Like what is important to your life. So that's something we're focusing on right now.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to do is when we have guests come over, I like try to talk them all into getting into the plunge. So like my father-in-law has gotten into the plunge. His really good friends gotten into the plunge. Our kids have gotten into the plunge. My friends have gotten into the plunge. Like, it's just become like a part of our life. And every single person that does it for the first time screams like a freaking baby that just fell off the changing table. And afterwards they're like, wow, I feel like really good. Like, dude, imagine having that every single day. Like that's what I get every single day. And it's just fun to watch people. I mean, there's a lot of people that have come and tried it at my house that have then gone and bought the plunge. Because they're like, I felt really good. Like, I know. Like, you think I just bought this because it looks good? Like, yeah, it looks nice, but I want to feel good. Like totally. My body.
I've been stacking a lot of like my meetings at the office. Like I'll have people come in
Yeah.
to people that are local or people that come in. It's like, we'll go do this on a plunge.
Yeah.
And it's like, first the conversation gets way better.
Yeah.
You know, we can go deeper a lot quicker. And it's like, we all just feel a lot better.
Yeah.
You know, we're more clear. So yeah, and getting people into for that first plunge, there's no like introducing someone to that feeling is like, it's like if you were to get someone that hasn't worked out before and they like started training a bit.
Yeah.
And it was like, and they're like, wow, this is a new feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Cold is in that vein where it's like, it's a different modality, but it's still like, it's going to get you to feel that much better, that quicker. So it's special to be able to like, you know, guide someone or just be with someone through that kind of transformative moment.
Yeah, it's very similar to like what you said about working out. Like if you talk somebody into running a half marathon and they're not runners, seeing them at the finish line is magical. Seeing somebody get out of the plunge is the same thing for me. I'm like, yeah, dude, it feels good, doesn't it? And like you sit there and like, just breathe, relax, don't scream, and you get them to hit that minute 30 or that 2:30 or whatever they set their goal at. And, you know, some people are in and out in 7 seconds. They're like, holy shit, that's not for me. But, you know, what I then tell them is what you've taught me, which is find a temperature that works for you. Like there's some hardcore plungers out there. Like I had the privilege of interviewing Peter Attia. And I'm like, so talk to me about your plunge routines. Like 39 degrees, hands under, up to my shoulders, 11 minutes. I'm like, dude, like that's insane. That's not everybody. Like,
in fact, I would say almost nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah.
It's like if 49 feels good, go 49. 47 feels good, go 47. Like that's one of the things that I really appreciate about how you guys show up in the space is you're not like, it has to be this temperature for this long under these conditions. It's like, use this for whatever way it serves you and however it helps you.
It's so unique. It's in fact that there's no even, you are going to be different week in, week out.
Yeah.
So your protocol, you're going to need to change it.
Yeah.
Your hormones change, your immune system change, the stress level in your life changes, sleep changes, your routine. Like there are all these factors that are going to play in how we react to the cold, how there is. And, yeah, I mean, we try and be very, you know, our big thing is 55 degrees, 2 minutes to start. Like just go there, like figure it out and tap into your own body. There's cues that you want to listen to, where your heart rate is, where your heart rate goes. Those are the signals you get used to, and you can start to understand like what is an optimal cold plunge for yourself. But it's interesting. You were talking about like bringing people over, and it's like we obviously just did 29020, and it's a movement in general. And I give a lot of credit to like CrossFit early on that did this, and it's this type 2 suffering in community, and it's type 2 fun. I call it type 2 suffering.
It is suffering,
but it's shared suffering in community, and that is something we've seen cold plunge communities take off around the country in these. We used to do a plunge club a lot more. That's a lot of other people have taken that on really well. But it's coming together. You do this really hard thing, but you're in a group together, and it's like the secret sauce. There's nothing that feels better. It's why CrossFit thrived when people would go do it. It's why 29020 is. Why did we hike up that stupid mountain? Well, I did it with a bunch of other people to do something super hard that we were going to commit to and finish and feel incredible after, or in our mind and. So I think there's, so I think in general of like what else can be created around that concept, because I think that is a real secret sauce of just human psychology and human connection.
Well, even if you look at your business, like it's been you and Mike.
Yeah.
So how has suffering in community, whether it's type 2 suffering or fun when you're building a business, like there has to be moments that you can look back on and say, hey, if I was by myself in this moment, I probably wouldn't have made it, or he would probably be able to say the same. How have you lifted each other up?
100% that. Like the business I don't think the business is here without each of us being in it together. And, first, like without him, he was really the, inventor of the product. He was the one that I would say pushed me to say this can be a business. So without him, I'm not doing this. Right. And then there are, times that there are days that he's just beat down, weeks that he's beat, and it's like, I'm good. We can kind of, get on my back, dude. We can go, we can push. And so that has been, I know like YC, I think you have to have a co-founder to go through that. And I get that. I see that. And I think there is strong data out there of where co-founders go to where like solo founders go, especially on your first like real scaled out business. Having that co-founder. The key to it though, what I would say is that you have to be aligned from a values and like an outcome perspective. And that can change. Like him and I have had, we've had a lot of check-ins. Where are you at? Are you like, where's your family? Like there's a lot of external factors that play into what our wants and needs are. And so him and I had like very clear value and good communication prior. So we built a really strong friendship. So I think that was like critical to going through the fire together. And then equally checking in, like what is it that, where are you at right now? Like what's your 2-year look like right now? Where are you 3-year? Where's your energy at right now? What's your focus? What are we doing that you don't love? What's still on the bone here for you that you want to go work on? So those constantly have to check in. And so it takes like a level of communication, and I think you can go, obviously, what's the phrase? You go fast solo. Yeah. You can go far together. As life has gone on, I have seen that. I have seen that in my personal relationships, being in a long-term relationship, creating a family, going through that, where before I was, dude that just wanted to be solo and travel and do my thing. And there's just more depth that I think obviously we can go together in.
What if I told you that the biggest breakthrough in your wealth, your health, or your relationships doesn't come from grinding harder, but from finding the right community? Gobundance is a community of over 800 high performers, entrepreneurs, and investors with a combined net worth of over $5.7 billion. But look, it's not just about the money. We're about building lives of abundance. Inside of Gobundance, we hold each other to a higher standard. It's a brotherhood built around 6 core pillars that touch on every aspect of life. So what does that actually look like? Look at guys like Diego Corzo, who after joining Gobundance became financially free, built a large real estate portfolio, gave a TEDx talk, and even got invited to the White House. Or John Edwin, who doubled his passive income while also helping his son launch a business at the age of 15. Even Daniel Del Real, who thought he was at GoBundance for business growth, but realized he needed to transform his health. 8 Ironmans later, he's a completely different man. This tribe is built for men who've already found success, but know there's another level. For our families, our health, our purpose, and our legacy. If you're ready for a tribe that challenges you to achieve a higher standard for yourself, visit gobundance.com/tribe. That's GOBUNDANCE.com/TRIBE to apply today. This episode is brought to you by Loletta Birnbaum LLC, doing business justice. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, real estate investor, or a combination of each, you know how critical it is to have trusted legal advisors on your team. Loletta Birnbaum has built a stellar reputation providing exceptional legal services that make a difference. As a national business law firm, Loletta Birnbaum provides a wide variety of legal services, including general corporate, contract negotiations, mergers and acquisitions, succession planning, intellectual property, commercial litigation, shareholder disputes, real estate, and employment. Whether you're navigating a complex business deal, resolving disputes, or protecting your brand, their team delivers practical, results-driven legal solutions tailored to your goals. For inquiries, GoBundance members should email Loletta Birnbaum at gobundance@loletta.com. That's LAULETTA.com. You can also visit their website at www.lauletta.com to learn more about how they can do your business justice. This episode is brought to you by Apex Functional Health, the team behind age-defying health at GoBundance. If you're a high-achieving entrepreneur, investor, or leader, you know that your health is your greatest asset. But the truth is, traditional medicine isn't built for people like you. It treats symptoms, ignores root causes, and keeps you stuck in cycles of fatigue, stress, and subpar performance. That's where Apex comes in. They do not do Band-Aids. They engineer elite health transformations for men, women, and children looking to optimize their health and be proactive instead of reactive. Apex uses root cause functional medicine, advanced lab testing, and cutting-edge biohacking tools to help you optimize energy, eliminate the root cause holding you back, and reverse early signs of aging so you can live, feel, and perform at your best. Apex helps you take control of your health so you can lead with power, not burnout. Visit apexfunctionalhealth.com to schedule your free strategy call and see what's possible when your body finally works for you, not against you. What's slowing your business down? Is it endless emails, scheduling headaches, repetitive tasks that steal your time? My Outdesk has your solution. Their experienced global virtual assistants handle the busy work so you can focus on strategy, growth, and whatever matters to you most. From administrative support to marketing and customer service, they've got you covered at a fraction of the cost of hiring in-house. Scale smarter, save bigger, get the support you need today at My Outdesk. I see in your story this pattern of like walking to the discomfort. Even through those conversations with your co-founder, a lot of people don't have those hard conversations because it's uncomfortable. But you show up time and time again in your story and in your journey of like embracing the discomfort, but also like walking to it. And there's a lot of beauty in that. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. But somebody's listening to this, or I'm sitting here going like, hey, I feel stuck. How did you start walking to the discomfort? How did you recognize that that was where the power was?
It's a weird for me to answer this because it's like I'll reflect on myself and be like, I'll sometimes avoid the discomfort. Like I'm not some sage person there. And I do know there's truth in the discomfort. Like we have a core value at our company. It's called Find Your Edge. And the whole concept is like, if you're not on your edge, there's like, that's not where growth is. We know that. Like if we're not uncomfortable, like uncomfortable is actually an incredible signal. It's wow, I'm somewhere I haven't been. I'm doing something I haven't done before. And if that's important to you in life, to grow and evolve and take on new experiences like that, you have to, I don't want to say get comfortable with that because that just, you don't get comfortable with discomfort, but you have to be open to that. You have to be so I want that life. I would say like, that's why I go there. And I don't always do. I'll avoid it sometimes. I'll disconnect from it. And I do want a life that is evolving. I want to look back 2 years ago and be like, man, I want to laugh at that person 2 years before. Like, I want to be like, holy shit. Like that's such a good signal, but it doesn't get there without, having the true, like being somewhat excited and having some third, like some eye that's looking down and be like, oh dude, this is okay. Like the discomfort is like, it's a good signal right now. It's good. Keep tracking towards that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you ran a marathon, you did 29:029. Like you just keep walking towards that discomfort of like, what's on the other side of this? What's on the other side of this?
For me, it's like, if I actually really think about it, like what has been, sports was early into like really pushing like myself, but then like psychedelics became a pretty like pivotal part of my story. And like that, working with those intentionally, like really started to be like, wow, the discomfort is the truth. Like that is where it all lives into being in the precipice of what I am avoiding. Like that, like what I'm avoiding is the thing. Like we all know it. We all like whoever's lit, like we all, it's going off in all our heads. We all have that thing right now. And so like psychedelics, I think were the front and center thing of like, oh, if you're really going to go be about this life, like that showed firsthand of like discomfort is where the wisdom is. It's also where right on like all the cringy sayings, it's like joy's right on the other side of it. Yeah. Like there's no better feeling than going through it. And there's no better feeling than hiking that mountain and crossing that finish line. Like you don't get that feeling without hiking the mountain.
Right.
You don't get a feel at post cold plunge without doing the cold plunge. Like these things, it's like, this is timeless. Yeah. These are timeless, takeaways that have just always been there.
Yeah, one of my favorite sayings is the magic you're seeking lies on the other side of the work you're unwilling to do. And I've found in my life time and time again that whatever I'm looking for is often on the other side of that one thing I'm avoiding, whether it's the hard conversation with an employee, whether it's the hard conversation with my wife, whether it's hiking 29:029, like whatever I'm avoiding on the other side of that is like the thing I was looking for. Like I was reflecting on the flight home from 29:029, first and foremost about how I've done it twice now, and the only other Everest I'm going to do is the real Everest. Like that's enough. I'm good for hiking mountains. But the other thing I was reflecting on is like I've been working a lot right now on like my personal brand, my story, my book, like what does this all look like? And I've struggled with it for like 9 months. Like I'm just like, I don't know. And as I was reflecting on it, like it hit me on the plane what my story is. It hit me on the plane what my book is. It hit me on the plane who I want to speak to, how I want to talk. And I then like reflected on, I don't think I get to that point without having gone through that hike for 36 hours. I don't think I get to that point without having felt the pain in my body that we felt for those 36 hours, or the lack of sleep, or the lack of food, or the lack of water. Like the magic I was looking for was on the other side of that work that I didn't really want to do. Like I didn't want to do 29 on 29 this year. Like my wife wanted to do it. I said, okay, I'll do it if you do it. It was her birthday, so I had to do it. But I was like, I already done this. Like what else can be true? And I was just slapped in the face by reality of like, that was where the magic was. It was on that other side of what I was trying to avoid.
Yeah. I mean, that resilience building, it's crazy when you get out there on that mountain of like, it's just a lot of time. You go, what is capable in the body, in the mind. And then like you said, like the peace of mind of completing, like what gets to open up after that.
Yeah.
Like you're on the plane, you're like satisfied. You're like, I just did this thing.
Yeah.
Obviously you're probably on to the next kind of guy. Like, but there is a window where you kind of like clarity shows up.
Yeah. It's like if I just hiked a mountain for 36 hours that totaled the elevation of Mount Everest, what else can I do? Like if you would have told me that 5 years ago, you're going to hike this mountain for 36 hours and you're going to reach the summit of Mount Everest in theory, I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I have no desire to do that. So then it just makes my mind go like, what am I truly capable of? But the thing I've had to wrestle with or learned early on is this whole concept around ego. And I've found in my experience talking to many successful people like yourself, people who've built multi-million-dollar businesses, huge empires, crazy lives. They've all gone through this death of the ego experience. Have you gone through the death of the ego, and when was it for you?
I mean, I've had like psychedelic experience where it's like this, but like the ego, or at least my experience with it, I'll speak, like for me, the ego is like this thing, it's so helpful. Mm-hmm. It creates, it makes life doable. Mm-hmm. Without it, like, humans don't exist. Obviously, it's a core feature to us. It's also a lens that we wear that is a lens. It's like any glasses. You take them off, and it's just glasses that you're wearing, and we wear them. This is my interpretation of it. But, I had one very deep experience that was like the most clarity I've had around an ego. It wasn't like an ego death of like, I'm dying. Mm-hmm. It was, not to get into sharing my experience, but there was like a very clear click when it came back. Mm-hmm. And I was in whatever, the oneness of it all, truly this place. I didn't exist. You didn't exist. It was just, it was, it is. Anyways, I came back and it clicked, and it was like, Ryan's back. Like, and it was like, everything came back in. Ryan's back. Oh, that's a TV on the wall there. This is a rug. Like, and that, like, that separation, that kind of like having things individualized, that was like my first time into like really feeling it and grasping it. Yeah, I mean, I think self-identity is like critical and core to the human experience. So it's definitely not like bastardized to me of like, like when people say I have such a big ego, that doesn't like, I'm not, that's just more of like, oh, you're a narcissist or you're like, whatever, like there's other dynamics there.
Right.
But like a big ego, I think can be such a healthy thing if you know that like it's a lens. It's not like, really, it's probably not even truth.
Right.
It's just use it as a tool.
That's right.
That grows with you, but like it could be, it's really tricky too. It's a slippery one.
Right.
And so like that has been to where I'm at today, kind of my understanding of.
How have you balanced like the beliefs or the negative self-talk that you've had to battle in building business, going through life, doing all that stuff? Like what beliefs about yourself that you thought were true weren't true that you had to let go of?
Well, there was, I mean, I don't know if this is exactly your question, but when we started Plunge, like we were talking beforehand, I don't, like I have like a very uncomfortable place around building stuff. Like my dad wasn't the super handiest guy. Like it's deep in me.
Yeah.
Like I am viscerally uncomfortable. Like I have whatever wounds and all sorts of stuff around it. So I was, I starting Plunge and had some level of success before it, but now I'm in a garage and I'm cutting PVC pipe and I'm building these products with Mike and I'm kind of his assistant. He's more the guy building it. And I remember just being so like uncomfortable and so like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, dude, you have another company over here and you're sitting here like gluing this piece for him and you keep messing up and he's getting upset with you. And it would like, I remember I cried one day to him. I was just like, dude, I can't do that. Like, I feel so ashamed. I feel so incapable.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing? Like, why am I in this business? And we were 6 weeks out from hiring our first person and I'm on the road meeting like now my skills can start to shine, but I had to go through that. And so, yeah, I think it's like that was something, I don't know if I had to let go of it, but I had to go through it.
Yeah.
Like it's part of, I think, just business building. Like there are skills that you might not be great at, but if you're going to be a founder and you're going to be the first, like that's what creates the magic of a founder is you are a momentum builder. Mm-hmm. Like this thing didn't exist. Like no one's going to do it for you. You have to do every piece to this right now. And that's the responsibility, that's the accountability, and that's the magic. You get the outsized return on the other side. You get to be the founder. You get to be this, but you also have to do all these things that are not your skill set. And ideally you can get out of it and grow. So, that was like one to just trust, like, okay, you believe in this, like you're going to figure this out. Maybe you're not going to be the greatest builder and maybe you're never actually be a good builder, but like you got to do this right now.
You can do it if you have to do it.
Exactly.
You can suffer through it. You can persevere through it. You can find a way to get it done, even if you aren't a builder.
And I did this with like, it's some irrational belief. I think they're both critical. You have to have some irrational, like it's a paradox and all truths are in paradox, but some irrational view of yourself that like, if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And some equally highly humble ways that you can be ruthless with yourself, critical, kick yourself down. Like you have to hold both true because you can't go here all the time. Like if they did it, I can do it. I can go be that. Like, and no respect for how they got there. And no reflection into how what you're going to have to sacrifice, what you're going to have to learn to get there. And you can't just stay and be small all the time and talk shit to yourself. Like you have to go back and forth and it's these dueling kind of sides. And so I think, when I started the float tank again, Capital Floats, I didn't know how to build a float tank. I just assumed if someone started a float, I didn't have any money. I was like, if worst case, I'll build one. Again, irrational. I don't know how to build one. I don't know. And it worked out, but like, I don't know. There's like this part of, I think, being like highly irrational that you have to be able to go create anything that's of value.
Yeah, that's why, I learned early in my journey, a mentor taught me, someone's going to do it, why not you? And so I just started saying that over in my head, like, why not me? Why not me? And then you kind of fast forward to the life I'm living today in the ranch. And that's what drives me to buy a giraffe. That's what drives me to buy the zebras. That's what drives me to do all those things is 99.9% of the world is like, you can't, you shouldn't. Here's all the negatives. And I'm like, but somebody's going to. So why not me? So literally I drew a line in the sand with my wife the other night. I'm like, all right, you have a choice. It's either we buy an elephant or we buy a giraffe. Which one do you want? She's like, neither. I'm like, that's not the choice. The choice is one or the other. And she's like, why do you want these things? I'm like, because it just shows me I'm capable of doing whatever I could possibly dream of or desire if I'm willing to take the actions towards it. And most people aren't willing to take the actions. They would rather just drive in the car past the zebra ranch because they want to look at the zebras than ask themselves, who do I need to become such that those zebras are on my ranch or at my place? And that's what you've done with the business.
Well, it's also, you have clarity into what you want to go after. Yeah. I think that's a big piece that I think a lot of people get. I'll be in moments like this as well, where it's I don't have clarity of what to go do. it's, or I think a lot of people know what they don't want.
Yeah.
And that's like, everyone can know what we don't want.
Yep.
The real skill is, what do I want?
Yep.
I want exotic animals.
Yeah.
I want an elephant or a giraffe. And that's what I want.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Well, and the reason why is so interesting. Like a lot of people think like, oh, I want these things from like an ego perspective. But for me, the reason I want these animals is first and foremost so our friends and our family can enjoy them. Like there's just something magical. I've been like watching people get out of the plunge for the first time, watching people bottle feed our baby zebras when they were babies. Like it was just magic. Like I have pictures that I'll look at when I'm feeling frustrated or down of my father-in-law, my son, and my daughter holding bottles, feeding these baby zebras, and all of their faces at different ages in life are lit up like a Christmas tree. But for me, like the real reason why, every day I come here and work, every day I drive up, and as I drive past the pasture, I see 2 zebras looking at me. And I'm like, if you can own a zebra, what else is possible? Like what else could be true? And it just like reminds me of like, even the unthinkable, even like the unimaginable is true if you put your mind, body, spirit, energy into it and say, I'm going to find the way or make the way. So for me, it's all about just the reminder of like, whatever you dream of can come true if you're willing to sacrifice certain things, you're willing to pursue things, and you're not willing to give up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the magic of like, it's just, I mean, what I'm taking from that is just getting me of like, man, you got one shot at this whole thing.
That's it, dude.
Like, we sit here, I got 40 to 50, maybe 60 more years if I'm like doing this really, really well. Mm-hmm. That's 40 to 60 more summers. That's 40 to 60, more Christmases with my, like, so it's like, what else can I do? How do I maximize? Where do I amplify? And that's cool. The zebra's kind of getting you to go even bigger.
Yeah. And I learned that when I was 22, I lost one of my best friends. And so like, here we are, we're 22 years old. He was 25. It's like, oh, we're untouchable. We've got the whole world in front of us. We got our whole lives. Died of a blood clot from a torn ACL. So then you kind of are reminded, like, if I'm lucky, I got 40 more summers. But if I'm unlucky, God forbid, today might be my last day. And so what am I going to do today that if it was my last day, my friends, my family, myself would be like, holy shit, like that was a good life. Like
Totally.
He really lived it. And so like, that's how I try to live. Cause I think you're right. Like from my knowledge, my awareness, we only get one shot. And even though 30 years, 50 years, 80 years sounds like a long time, man, you blink and it's gone.
I mean, I'm about to turn 40 in January, and it's like that number it signifies something to me. Yeah. It's like, oh, you're on I'm now further away from my high school graduation than my birth was. To like these numbers start to be like, you're not like, this is temporary.
Yeah.
This life will end. My parents are getting older.
Yeah.
Like they're, if things go well, I got 10 to 15 more, summers with them.
Right.
So anyways, it's like really trying to times, I think the ultimate, like, it creates humility and it creates like perspective very quickly.
Yeah. And it can get you to take action. Like if you use it as a tool, you can recognize like our time is limited. So like, why put that thing off for tomorrow? Why not do that thing? Why not have that hard conversation? Like, let's just lean into it and do it.
Yeah. 100%.
What are you working through right now that feels heavy or uncomfortable? Where are you growing the most today?
I think, I'm the natural answer is I'm 6 weeks out from being a father. There's some days it's blissful thinking. Some days it's like, wow, like, holy shit, this is all going to change.
Right.
Oh, what's up? It's all going to change pretty quick. So that's like thinking, like the other thing that's showing up there is like, I didn't know if I'd always want to be a father, but like probably in the back of my mind, I figured I would, but it was always like, if you're going to be a father, my traits, my flaws, my shortcomings, like those will all get figured out by the time I'm a dad.
Right.
And it's like, now I'm a dad. And these things that I do that are, it's like, they're here, and this is front and center, and it's been confronting. So, that's a piece. I think on the business front, like we've definitely like, there's been evolutions of what we're doing in the business, really trying to figure out like what are, there's just a constant evolution. We went from like, this new kid on the block, new company. I'm going from like a founder to like now I'm a CEO. And I think I'm really still evolving there into like what goes into that. What sometimes I just want to go back to being a founder and work on the new thing and get momentum going. And sometimes my team needs a CEO. So those are areas that I'm working through right now. I think I have had consistently like a coach in the past, and I have not had one recently. And I think that's like showing up for me more like into like, that's some support that I need into, I think it's a good guardrail into this kind of like both sides that we talked about of, ruthlessly critical to being irrational, like working through both of those areas. So that's kind of been on my forefront. I'd really wanted to dig in on like the fitness side. So I hired like a coach there, got these events on the calendar. So that's been going well. But I think on like the personal side with a coach is kind of something I need to bring back into my life.
Signed up for a 100-mile race in February. If you want,
signed up.
If you want something else on the calendar,
I'm a no.
You're a smart man.
I think we're gonna do a High Rocks early Jan.
Yeah.
100. Where is the 100-miler?
Houston.
In Jan.
February 7th, something like that.
Is it paved? Or is it?
No, it's in the woods.
In the woods.
Yeah, but it's generally a flat course.
Okay.
Is what I've been told. But I recognize when people say like, oh, I ran 100 miles, like, most people don't really run 100 miles. Like they completed 100 miles, but it's a lot of walk, run. So I have this whole theory that I'm going to run a 100-mile race, which I know I won't run the whole time. And I'm going to do it all without training more than 10 miles at any given time. So I'm not going to go crazy on the training because I want to get to the suffer point as quickly as I can. And I want to sit in that suffer point for as long as I possibly can. And so I'm like, I will not run more than 10 miles during my entire trip.
So you are trying to curate a true pain cave.
Yep.
That you
have to sit in. Well, keep walking.
But you're capable of getting through it. You'll be fit enough to get through it, but you're equally at
suffering.
The edge.
Yeah. I'm like, it's going to suffer no matter what. No matter how much I train, mile 67 is going to suck.
Yep.
So why don't I just train it all so mile 23 sucks, and then I can suck for a lot longer. Like I'll just get comfortable with the pain. Because at the end of the day, I've experienced the more comfort we can find in that discomfort, the more possibilities that are created. So I just want to get there as quickly as I can and sit there as long as I can.
How do you have to finish in a certain time?
I think it's 32 hours. 32. It's plenty of time.
Okay.
It's plenty of time. I think it's like 4 miles an hour or something like that. Like I'll be fine.
Look forward to following along on that.
I mean, look, I'm incredibly grateful for this conversation. I've really enjoyed getting to know you. Selfishly, I more enjoyed the products you guys have created, the Plunge, the Sauna. I really can't articulate how much they've changed my life. I've been on a huge fitness journey, and I think one of the things that I tell everybody that I talk to is when I started plunging, the weight started falling off of me. And I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's untrue. The data will tell you it's true. But I wouldn't be the man I am today without the products you guys created. It's helped me. It's helped my wife. She did both of them through her entire pregnancies. Yes, modified temps, but did them both. It's a part of our everyday routine. And it's just truly an honor to be able to sit down with the person that created the products that have made such an impact on our lives and have a cool conversation.
Dude, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you, man.